A Hunter in Teyvat, Chapter 95, Fan Fiction, by Azazyel. Paimon thinks Lumine shouldn't have sold Jake for millions of Mora. All this walking is ... Paimon began, but Lumine cut her off as her eyes twitched while she held onto her knees, shivering in the damned cold of the Dragonspine Mountain. I get it, Paimon. No amount of Mora is worth Jake, his friendship, his kindness, and not needing to walk dozens of miles to go on an adventure. Lumine muttered as she stared at the weak fire that was sputtering due to the harsh, cold winds that entered the cave they were taking shelter in to warm up before they continued their journey to the peak of the mountain to try to stop the horrendous ice storm that constantly surrounded the mountain. Breaking through the thick, almost curtain of snow that obscured the mouth of the cave, Eula stomped into the cave with her, even herself visibly shivering due to the great cold despite being a literal cryo-vision wielder. This be damned cold is just unreasonably cold. I swear, whoever tainted this land so close to my homeland will face my vengeance. Eula swore as she shamelessly cuddled up with Lumine, who gleefully took her into her arms as well to share warmth while Paimon was. Whatever, she just snickered as she retorted. Just think about it. If Jake were here, you guys could have flown all the way to the peak with his anemo hypostasis and your combined anemo powers strengthening the barrier like when we normally fly past the mountain and went through the storms around in Azuma. Paimon ruthlessly teased the two girls who pouted, with Lumine eyeing her friend oddly. Paimon, why do you keep bringing back up Jake? He is busy doing that Adepti mission and then going to Inazuma while I am checking Mondstadt for news of my sister. Lumine said with a twist coming across her face at the memory of how her once brother's imprisonment and being broken down into elemental particles that merged with her own imprisoned form led to when they got released, they were forced into taking her own body's form. And she even looked prettier with her own body with that long hair. Lumine internally screeched in outrage. But as Lumine's thoughts were mired in those thoughts, Paimon coughed and looked at her longtime friend with a dull glare. Lumine, Paimon can't help but think that your head has gotten soft with all the walking you've been having to do. Remember that blonde weirdo Dainsleif? That guy was only talking in riddles, and if Jake was here, you both would have just beaten him up and gotten all the answers we needed from him. Paimon said loudly, and Lumine's lips twitched at the reminder of how Jake had favored direct approaches to things. Like sneaking up and mugging a couple of factory guards to steal their identity to then use their identities as a patsy to steal a national relic of Mondstadt. Good times and all. But looking back at that little adventure with Dainsleif dragging them around, grabbing Canria's stuff that only left more questions than answers, she had to mentally admit that Paimon was right. If Jake were there, she would have totes helped Eula and Jake freeze and bind the little blonde fop with ice and geo-crystals to start smacking the mysteries out of his mouth. Like, what the hell did he mean how he knew my sister, and they went on an adventure together and became close? Even Eula agreed as she began roasting some carrots, potatoes, and meat on the weak fire. Yes, although that gentleman did bear clear training in noble etiquette. His complete mystery and obvious knowledge of your lost sibling did make me think of putting him under arrest so the Knights of Favonulus could try to get answers out of him. Plus, Lisa wants her little helper back and is being utterly insufferable. Eula muttered at the end while Lumine's lips twitched at the reminder of how the group split up at the start of their adventures, and Jake and Lisa, the librarian and scary electro-domimami of Mondstadt, had become friends. Said friend wasn't happy that he didn't come back due to Lumine renting out his services for 10 million Mora. Not my fault. Lumine grumbled as she kicked some pebbles that were under her heels. That stupid Morax. He offered me however much Mora we wanted to have Jake fly Shinha over to Bish to make sure she didn't do anything. Lumine then cried out dramatically. How was I supposed to know the stupid god doesn't give a damn about any amount of money, when I asked for more money than Liu sees in half a year? It was sarcasm, damn it. And so was the tale of Eula, Lumine, and Paimon as they unraveled the mysteries of the Dragonspine Mountain. And also almost got frostbite despite literally having ice powers.